Welcome to the Breeders Brew, dog breeding podcast hosted by me, Isobel, the canine nutrition coach.
And me, Sara, the canine family planner.
Together, we'll be promoting responsible breeding by unpicking the minefield of breeding myths and methods for owners wishing to expand their whelping wisdom.
So we're at the penultimate day.
We are. The festivities are almost over. The 11th day of Christmas is here.
The kings are just one stop away.
Queens? Crikey, Sarah.
Queens, sorry, yeah. The two queens are just one bus stop away because Sarah's driving's terrible.
Yeah, I'm not walking that far. I mean, crikey, come on.
What is the exciting stuff we need to share today, which is epic?
We've saved the best till last. That isn't just a lesson or an accomplishment or a reflection for the previous year. It's actually just some really exciting news. Oh, it is an accomplishment. In fact, it is all of those things, but it is wrapped up in a bundle of super exciting news.
I was going to say, I thought you could say it's wrapped up in a bundle of blood, sweat and tears, because that's what it feels like. Yeah. So we've given you some breadcrumbs into the pointer of whelpingworld.com, and we haven't mentioned as much breedersbrew.com because we've given it a makeover, haven't we? We have a new lease of life in regards to, well, basically PUPLIFE needed a home.
Yes, that's the crux of it.
PUPLIFE needed a home, and Breeders Brew was all podcast related, so that wasn't the appropriate place for it to live. So we had to build a new home on our new techie computers, which at the time they weren't new, so that's what basically killed them.
This is true. This project finally was the straw that broke the camel's back of our tech. But it's exciting. It's because it needed to be bigger and better than breedersbrew.com. Like you said, the amount of information we were trying to share, the new PUPLIFE pathway to guide you through the breeding journey was so much bigger than just the podcast. We needed an entire new world.
Yeah, and we've all felt the pain of getting it there. It was actually something that started back in June, was the first ideas. So talk about the long plan. The last episode we talked about planning and fixing, and we started back in June, and we've tweaked and we've tweaked and we've tweaked and we've pondered and we've tested and we've tried again, and we have what we have now, which is Whelping World, and that will be our new home. And there might be a few other changes that come along with it, such as the podcast intros changing. Maybe we'll change the name. We're not quite sure about that yet. So if you have any thoughts on that, then let us know in the Facebook community. Yes.
For those of you that want to come and join us, it's currently called the Breeders Brew Community Group on Facebook.
And we'd love to know your thoughts, but then we know you're busy people as well. But PUPLIFE is very much the foundations and the whole structure of Whelping World, because what we already said was that everything falls into PUPLIFE. So this website basically just makes that visually more apparent. So we recommend that you go and check it out if you haven't already, because there's tons of free stuff on there, isn't there? It isn't a case of we only help people that are in the brew crew. If you want to look at any past podcast episodes, if you're not listening to us through your podcast streaming platforms, then the whole archive of all the podcasts are also on the website as well, which will play when your phone's off as well, which is good, because that would be annoying that you'd have to constantly have your phone on if you're on your phone. Obviously, if you're sitting at your computer, your laptop, you can just have it streaming in the background while you carry on your browsing. So yeah, you've got options there basically. But yeah, the podcasts are all on there. What else have we added to it, Isabel, that's free for everybody?
The notice board. So we are now sharing an entire section of our thoughts and feelings penned down in articles or notices. So we have an entire notice board that is being collated and built on a regular basis. It's there now. And again, each notice post is allocated to a certain section of PUPLIFE. So wherever you are in the PUPLIFE journey, you can go and read the specific notice posts that are going to help you at that moment in time with the information that we know we can share. And the same goes for the podcast episodes as well. So it's fantastic that you now have an ability to find the information you need at your fingertips at the time you need it.
Yeah, and these are all under we're calling it the Help Hub. So it's basically stuff that you can go and have a look and filter to your heart's desire to whatever stage of the pup life you're on. So it also includes, we've added a Jargon Buster.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, because as with any niche area, it tends to have its own terminology, and it isn't always explained to you what certain words mean. And actually, some people can misunderstand a word or is unintentionally using certain words wrong. So we felt it right to add a Jargon Buster in. And again, to stop the overwhelm, it's split down through the pup life stages as well. So you can see all the things and learn all the words, or you can think, I'm looking for a stud. What's the terminology that I'm going to see when I'm looking for studs, and what adverts might say? You can filter to set stages as well, and that will continue to grow as well. Obviously, we've started it off, but I'm sure we'll continue to add words and terminologies that we come across. Or if there's one missing, again, you need to tell us, and we'll add it in. What else? What else have we got on there?
Not only have we got the Jargon Buster, which is the breeding dictionary, we've also got the Whelping World shopping list.
Yay! This is awesome, isn't it? The shopping list, again, you can see all the items by default. You can filter them to whatever stage you're at. The item is there, a picture of the item if you're not sure what it should look like, a description, and links to where you can purchase those items online.
Yeah, exactly, so that you're actually understanding what the right product is. Because people say, puppy milk, but what actually is puppy milk? What is the type of puppy milk specifically that me or Sara would be happy to use? Because again, you'll see so many recommendations online from people that are in all these Facebook groups, but unless they actually have used the product themselves, then you are taking very risky advice.
Yeah, these are very much our recommended items. So, yeah, there are other ones that exist and are about, but these are the ones, basically anything here we would use on our own dogs. There's no better way to put it. What's also amazing with this, if you're a bit old school and you like to print a list, you don't have to print the whole list. You can filter just to show what stage you're at and print the relevant information. But when you print it, you actually get a QR code to scan to take you to that item if you want to purchase it. So if you think, this is great, I'm going to print it off and in the future I might look at it, then you don't have to switch your PC back on or anything to go and review it. You can look at your printout. So if anyone doesn't know, you just open up the camera on your phone, scan it over the QR code, and you'll get a little notification, which is normally a website link, and you can click on that and it will take you to what they want you to view by scanning that QR code. That's what most of them do. So yeah, how amazing is that? I'm sure we'll probably set one up in the future, like some new owners puppy products or something or other as well. So one you could print off for the breeder, can print them off and put them into a puppy pack as well. So the ideas will keep coming. But yeah, that's the Help Hub section. That in itself, there's tons there. The fact that the pup life pathway is actually broken down into the 7 stages. We explain what pup life is, but also on every single stage, we're also giving away tons of information.
Even more gifts, even more amazing gifts. As if all of that didn't sound enough already. We have something called the Whelping Wizards, here to help you on your breeding journey.
Yes, and these are very much helping Whelping Wizards. When someone's giving you advice, they haven't necessarily teased out all the right information from you to give you the right response. So the good thing with these Whelping Wizards is that they actually ask you the right questions to give you an appropriate response given a 3B lens. So your breed, your background and your brain, which we think is a decent brain. That's why you're on our website anyway. It's a good proactive brain that wants to learn and grow. Well, they don't grow bigger, but we can use them better, can't we? So yeah, this adds some consistency to some of the rogue advice that's out there, isn't it? It just gives a starting block. So we're not saying it might necessarily be perfect for what you're doing, but it's going to be a good solid starting block. And then if you have any more questions around it, obviously you could ask in our Facebook community, or you can get some hot personalised advice if you were to join the support club.
Absolutely. I think the key point to make here is the whole reason we've designed these Whelping Wizards, and there's one for every single stage of the PUPLIFE pathway, is because there are...
Say that again, Isobel. So not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7. 7 Whelping Wizards.
Exactly.
Sorry, just do some cheesy sales stuff.
So, yeah, absolutely. Bit of cheerleading. Come on, get the pom-poms out. But it's so important that... But the whole reason we've done this is because we see people having the same problems, the same pitfalls in every single point of the PUPLIFE journey. So we've gone through and gone, right, where do people fall over the most in preparing to mate? Where do people fall over the most or need the most help in unexpected weight? Where do people need that in pregnancy confirmed? Where do people need that in labour approaches? Where do people need specific advice in intensive care? What do people need to know in feeding and foundations? And finally, what advice can we give people that they need the most in the exit plan stage of PUPLIFE? So we've designed each Whelping Wizard with that in mind so that you can get as much valuable help to your biggest pain point probably in that point in the PUPLIFE journey, because it's not about gatekeeping. We don't want to gatekeep. These are free to use, they're free to access, and they're there so that you have more, like you said, Sara, so that you have more structured, more comprehensive guidance specific to your situation than a bunch of strangers on the internet going, do this, and they all have different breeds. They don't know when you've bred her specifically, whether it's her first litter or whether it's her third litter, whether you're a novice or whether you're experienced. So it gives you much more standardised advice, but for your specific situation. So please do go and use them. They're there. We've spent countless hours, days, weeks, pulling these Whelping Wizards together from scratch. Neither me or Sara are tech gurus. We've never coded specifically before in life. We've done a bit of general coding, but nothing massive. And yet 2025, who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks, eh? Because we've now become coders as well as everything else. And we've coded these bad boys from scratch. So they really are. There's no third party that's come in and designed them and made them kind of a little bit woolly or non-specific for dog breeding. They are so specific, so niche, because they are founded on the guidance and the advice that we give.
Yeah, and they will continue to get tweaked and improved as well. So again, the world is forever changing, and just because we designed these doesn't mean they just get left as they are. No different to your iPhone or your Android update, dropping an update every now and again. These will be the same because we want to make them as good as possible, and we know stuff always changes. But just to give you a little walkthrough, so just so people have a rough idea what the Whelping Wizards are, on the preparing to mate is a progesterone ovulation Whelping Wizard, so it helps people understand the numbers, because what we see online all the time is, do I breed on these numbers? What does it mean? When should I retest? Has she ovulated or not? And what a lot of people don't know is a number isn't a number. It depends what machine it's been run on to actually what you should do on that number. So they are not all equal, and also the scales are different. So this is a nice Whelping Wizard that you can plug in the numbers. You could see all the other possible equal calibrations of results of that number, but it also tells you what you need to do as well, whether you should breed, whether you should retest. We've standardized all the different machines out there as much as we can, so everybody is working on the same pattern of breeding, at least, even though our numbers can be different, because people like to again oversimplify and just think, oh well, 7 means she's ovulated or 10 means she's ovulated and I breed 2 days afterwards. And it really does depend on your machine without getting overly fussy about it all. And then the uncertain weight Whelping Wizard is the pregnancy and puppy predictor. So this is an updated version of my own personal spinny wheel, which some of you may or may not seen, but basically the whole point of the one I designed is that it wasn't tech related. You could be anywhere and you'll be able to work out your due dates and that kind of thing quite quickly, where this obviously you need some tech. You're going to have to go on your desktop or your phone to access it. But you put in some basic details of your ovulation date or your mating and what your parasite protocol is going to be, whether you're going to chemical worm, whether you're going to worm screen, and when you plan to do your puppy viewings, say that be 4 weeks or 6 weeks. And it's going to basically kick out a whole calendar, a whole timeline for you to follow.
Oh,
awesome.
Amazing. Isn't it what everyone needs? Again, regardless of how many litters you've had, it's so helpful to have that written down. Just so you juggle your own calendar, your own diary, your own priorities, your own children, family, holidays, everything. You've got a timeline you're actually working to then.
And obviously, it splits it down into the PUPLIFE pathways. It tells you when you're moving from one stage to another, to another, to another. So that is also awesome. Again, you can copy and paste it to whatever you want to do to share it with friends and family, or you can print off a PDF copy and frame it, stick it on the fridge, whatever you fancy doing. And then the pregnancy confirmed Whelping Wizard is the Dam's diet sheet, which is a big one for Isobel because it's a question she gets asked a lot of: how do I adjust food now I know she's pregnant? What do I need to do?
Absolutely. I think as soon as people find out their girl is in pup, they go into panic stations going, well, I've not changed anything yet. What do I now need to change? Because I now know she's growing these puppies. So what do I need to feed her so that she has enough food in the right quantities and in the right nutritious levels to ensure that she can grow puppies safely? So that is definitely a massive panic that I see from people that I work with, is the hows of feeding when it comes to pregnancy.
Yeah, and I think with this wizard, it's good because it asks about the condition of the female, like is she underweight, correct weight, overweight? So where is she now? Because that's quite important to know where you're heading to. Also, how big is the litter? Is she expecting an average size litter for her breed? Is it large or is it a small litter? Because that will impact how you feed your female. And then also, because this covers up until weaning, it asks you when you plan to wean, because some breeds will wean early, like bulldog people. We generally wean at 3 weeks once eyes are open. Yeah. Some may leave it generally to 4 weeks, and if you had a small litter, some might even leave it to 5 weeks. So all of that's going to impact the results it's going to give you. And when people are asking online, do they ever ask these questions to give the right advice? Generally not. So yeah, that's that Whelping Wizard. Then we move on to labour approaches, and the wizard for that is the Whelping Bed Planner. We've put this in because just on observation alone, we just see a lot of pictures of dogs in too smaller whelping pens, and it's not acceptable in any way, shape or form, and it can cause bigger issues for mum down the line as well. So we've stuck this one in here. It gives you a rough idea, and it also asks, because any old school whelping wizard will just assume you want a square one. Nowadays, most spaces that people have tend to be a rectangle shape that they want to fit it in, not a square shape. So again, we've taken that into consideration. And what this Whelping Wizard also does is it gives you a puppy pen planner. So there's this big debate: when does it stop being a whelping box or bed, and when does it become a puppy pen? And then also it helps you work out how much space you're going to have to increase that puppy pen by, depending on how you plan to use it. So whether you're going to zone your puppy pen, and how big your litter is as well. So that's just not your average kind of stuff that you see online when you use a fancy little widget to try and help you learn a little bit of information. Intensive care was a no-brainer for this. So this is if you need to supplement feed your puppy. We talk about the breakdown of rehydration fluid and puppy milk, because generally if you've got a poorly puppy, at least it shouldn't be pure milk because they will struggle to digest it. If you've just got a healthy puppy that you need to top up, then you can do pure milk, like what I did in my last litter of my slightly little puppy. But if you've got the weight of the puppy and when they were born, it'll give you an idea of how you need to supplement that puppy for it to get to the point where you can start weaning it. So yeah, that's a handy little tool that never existed until we bashed our brains together.
Painfully, and against a wall a few times.
And a computer and a keyboard. And then on the feeding and foundations, we have the puppy feeding and weaning wizard. So a big question that we see online a lot is, I need to start weaning and I don't really know what I'm doing and how I need to do it. So this will give you a timetable to follow, and we're not saying it's going to be perfect to the degree, because it depends on the breed, it depends on what you're weaning them on to, that kind of thing, but it's a pretty robust structure that if you follow, you won't go far wrong. And again, it asks you what type of weaning practice do you want to follow, like just typical, or are you weaning early because you're hand rearing a litter, or it's a mum's got poorly quality milk, or it's a really large litter, so you need to wean early? Because what this will also take into account is how you need to reduce mum's food as well. And also, is it a small breed, because generally small breeds wean later, or is it a small litter, so then you're going to delay your weaning approach? And also, it asks about how many meals are your puppies on when they leave for their new homes. I know we've talked about this before. With the Bulldogs, I like them on 4 meals. Labradors, generally, they're on 3 because they just rather eat bigger meals less often. As little and often just doesn't work for them, and they're fine with it. So different breeds do different things. And then I know with the smaller breeds, they could still be on 5-6 meals a day. So it basically tries to factor that all in. And again, all of these wizards, you can copy and paste, or you can print off a PDF. And then the final one, this is the one I got a little bit excited about, because I just find the whole conversation around puppy pricing interesting. So for the exit plan, the Whelping Wizard is a puppy pricing profiler. So for anyone that doesn't know how much they should be charging for their puppies, this should set you in the right direction. And this isn't just going to spit out a price, it's going to profile you as a breeder and your breeding standards, ethics, efforts, and the breed and what the market's doing, and come up with a price, which is absolutely insane. So this is a meaty one. This was a meaty one for us to code, wasn't it? And no one else has even tried to articulate this conversation into a Whelping Wizard.
Absolutely. It's not to mention the fact that pricing puppies is hard enough as it is, and I think a lot of people, because a lot of owners that have a litter wouldn't identify as a breeder, it can be specifically hard to know what to price your puppies when that's the case, when you're just having a one-off litter of puppies and you just want to make sure that you're charging the right amount for them so that they find the right homes, and that's reflective of the case. It can be really hard to justify why your pricing's what your pricing is, which is why this Whelping Wizard is particularly useful and valuable, is because it gives you the confidence to be able to articulate why your puppies are the value that they are, because it enables you to identify what parts of your practices, whether that's socialisation or the way that you've weaned the puppies or the health testing that you've done on mum,
any stud dog you picked,
or the stud dog you've picked, that potentially set you above the rest, and therefore give you that confidence to stand up and say, well, this is why my puppies are priced this way, and this is what I do. And it gives you an ability to start realising what you do better and what you're doing that is great, which is so important. It's not about comparing you to other breeders. It's not about us knowing what you do and what you don't do with your puppies. It's not about any of that. It's about giving you the confidence to be able to articulate what you do that is great. And actually, if there are some things that you don't do with your litter, such as you don't do socialisation because you've never heard of it before, or you've heard of ENS but you don't really know what it is, and when you go through this pricing calculator, you see that there are some fields to tick or not tick, it might prompt you to give these new practices a go, because you think, oh, actually, I've heard of that. I didn't realise other people were actually doing it. Therefore, I'm gonna try that on my next litter. So it's just about giving you a bit more awareness as to what you can do to go over and above. And if you are doing it, it gives you the confidence to say that you are doing these exemplary things.
Yeah, it will give you the results. It will give you a breakdown. It has a full list of adjustments, so how it explains to you how it's come to that price, and you can print it off and use it as a reference point. Because as you say, Isabel, I think that's what a lot of people struggle to articulate, how they've got to that price. Sometimes they don't know. They've literally just followed the crowd basically and picked that number out of somewhere. Where this now, you could literally lift that information and put it into your puppy advert, because it's justifying how you've got to the price that you've got to, which I think is amazing. and has never been done before. So I don't know, if we don't win awards for this, I don't know what we'll win awards for as well.
That's amazing.
So yeah, like you said, that's 7 epic Whelping Wizards for you to go and play with, to try out, to test. We'd love to know your feedback on them.
Absolutely, we'd love for you guys to go and have a play, see what benefit you can get from them, and hopefully you find them an absolute huge benefit. You get tons of value from them, and we will be absolutely chuffed if that's the case. So please do let us know your feedback. It means the world to us. And if you think there are things missing or something else you'd love, again, please let us know, because this is all a massive passion project for us. It's Whelping World, and we've done our absolute best to answer people's most burning questions at every point in the journey, so that we can give as much valuable, free, non-gate-kept information as possible, so that we can raise the bar for everyone, not just a select few. But as always, if you do want more support, you want more in-depth advice, then we're here for that as well. So regardless of how invested you are, so regardless of how much handheld support you want, we're here, or you can access all those amazing free resources on the new Whelping World website.
It is crammed, packed full of amazing information, if I say so myself. I think it looks quite pretty as well. I mean, what more do you want from a website? And we haven't mentioned the PUPLIFE Pathfinder.
No.
So this is... No, so this is, if you don't know where you are, what you're doing, where you should get started.
What on earth even is PUPLIFE? What are you talking about?
Then the place you need to start is the PUPLIFE Pathfinder, which literally on the website, it's find your path, because everybody's journey is different. Like we said about the 3B lens, depends on your breed, depends on your background, it depends on your attitude to learning and how proactive you want to be with things or not. But the PUPLIFE Pathfinder is our new way of being able to point you in the right direction. So you just take the short, fun quiz. It will give you a result, and it will tell you where you need to get started, because there's other things to unfold. I'm not even going to mention the PUPLIFE passport. I think that should be for another day, Isabel. But Absolutely. Anybody that goes on the website, you'll see the splatterings of passport information out there. And maybe if you get a passport full of stamps, you might get a little reward at the end of it. We'll see. But it's there for you to go and look at, have a play, discover all the things, the little sort of knowledge bombs and golden tickets that we've left scattered around. And we have very much built this for you and for the hot topics that we see online that are constantly asked about, that people aren't sure about. And we think this website actually answers everything and more.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about it. This is by far, out of everything I've achieved in 2025, this is genuinely what I am most proud of. This is the biggest, most exciting thing that we've done in 2025. And it's a massive project that we got across the line as well. And it's so unusual, it's so different. And I'm pleased that we are able to bring this much value to a community that I believe really needs it. And as we always say, it's about raising each other up. It's about us being a community, championing each other, cheerleading each other on. And this is just yet another even bigger, better resource to help you guys do that.
Yeah, this is so niche. This is so specific to dog breeding. It's awesome, and I've learnt so much in putting this together. Like we've built this with our own bare hands. We've not paid anyone to code, design website, because we wanted it to be not an interpretation of our ideas. We wanted it to be our ideas, and the only way to get that across was to do it ourselves. And it's been painful, but we've learnt so much in the process as well, which has been awesome. There's nothing that can be compared to this. I mean, I'm sorry to blow my own trumpet. Us Brits don't do it enough. But this is awesome, people. If I had this given to me when I first started breeding, I'd be grinning from ear to ear. I'd be in my element. I'd be printing everything off. I'd be stuck all over the fridge in my notebooks, highlighted till my heart's content. So it's there for you to use. We think you should use it. We think it's pretty awesome. If you think this podcast's awesome, then you're going to love the website. That's all I can say. So yeah, whelpingworld.com will be your new best friend.
What a way to end the penultimate episode with such a giant bombshell gift. I hope you love it.
So we'll take up no more of your time. Go and check it out.
Back tomorrow for the last episode.
the last episode, day 12, is coming very soon.
It is indeed.
I'll see you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.